We're going to do some free readings and we're going to do affirmational, meditational experience for the full moon, which starts very late tomorrow, possibly Sunday, depending on what part of the planet you inhabit. So I want to go live on Facebook, on Instagram as well. And this time I'm going to do it right. Okay, Instagrammers, here we are. Uh, we're going to talk about the mother energy. But first, I want to talk today and most of tomorrow. Our energy is in Gemini. And Gemini rules communication. And it really depends on, let me see if I can fix my Instagram. Hi, everyone. A little bit too, Instagram like sucks you in as soon as you turn on the video. It's like, okay, hi, Instagrammers. So eventually we're going to do some live readings. So I want you to put down exactly this way, okay? We're going to put down exactly your birth date, your birth time, and your birthplace. If you don't have your birth time, that's okay. And your question, all in one line, okay? All in one paragraph. All right. So here, whether you're on my YouTube or your Facebook or your Instagram, I definitely welcome and invite you to make comments. As many of you know, I have written the book 101 Answers over there, 101 Answers from the Universe. And this book is a complete download, which I do have to revise. I'm going to do a part 2 because I've gotten so much more information. And this was written in the summer of 2019. And you wouldn't know it because you would think I was talking about what's going on right now. In January and February of 2020, I predicted the situation that would happen in April. And you can scroll through my Facebook, see if you can find that. The energy right now is in Gemini. And what the heck does that mean? Gemini's energy is gossip, talk, communication, overthinking, multitasking, restlessness, ADD. It's about your siblings and cars as well, and as well as hi, Jasmine, as well as vehicles and short trips, also around sales. Now, here we are in Mercury in retrograde and Venus and retrograde. So, with this energy in the next 2 days, do not make any major purchases. No major purchases. Nada. Not one. Okay. And major is basically something that costs you a good chunk of money that you really can't afford to lose and is permanently with you long term. Hi, Jasmine. So, with that being said, done. Let's get this Instagram going. I have a lot of Virgo in my chart, and I have a complete stellium of Virgo in my chart. And this just hit me. I managed to distract myself for the entire day so that my thinking didn't get combobulated. However, I did find that it caught up later in the day now, as I was disappointed with the meal that I made. And I realized, some old thoughts popped in my head and old thoughts that are ruminating as well. I recommend to all of my clients a beautiful supplement. It is origined in Canada from Pure Encapsulations, and it's called Pure Focus. But I know there's another one called Dopa Plus, Dopa for dopamine as well. The main ingredient is L-thyroxine, I believe, and it really does help with my ruminating. And actually, I should have been taking my my evening dose of it now. I forgot. I'll take it after. And it's there's no known side effects or interaction with any types of drugs. So you might want to take a look at that. With Gemini, the energy is, especially for Virgos and Pisces and Sagittarians, and if you know what your moon sign is or any other parts of your birth chart, and you've got those 3 signs in your chart, it's going to be challenging, and you might want to sort of zip it. Okay. Because with Virgo, with Mercury in retrograde, it's not just about long-term purchases, but what you say can have a long-term effect. What you say can never be taken back. Okay. It can never, very rarely taken back. So for instance, if you say something that drastically hurts someone who is easily triggered, not your monkeys, not your circus, but your contribution to helping them see their triggers is your monkey and your circus. Therefore, there's karma to be paid for that. So we have to be very careful the words that we choose. Now, not because you're worried about what the other person is going to think. That's not it, because we've got to be authentic, right? We got to be authentic, and we have to be able to have our own voice, and that's what the Gemini energy is all about. And hi, everyone. And so the Gemini energy is all about having your voice and speaking that voice, having a communication, having conversation, right? This is a time when people just want to talk. They don't necessarily want answers. They don't necessarily need your approval. Okay. So being careful, which means, what's the old saying about before you speak? Is it the truth? Is it harmful? And will it make a difference? Is it the truth? Will it be harmful? And will it make a difference? Right? And if your intention is to support someone while they're going through a difficult time, for instance, then that may be supportive. Then it's going to do a deep dive into the full moon in Cancer. And now we're talking about the mama feminine energy opposing the masculine energy. And I talked a lot about that this morning when I did my live, and you can find that on YouTube. The mama energy will have us thinking about the mother energy, the maternal energy. And that is whether you have that maternal energy if you have children, you may be contemplating communication with your children. You may be contemplating communication with your mother, or conversation and communication with somebody who may not be respecting you as a mother, as a caregiver as well. It's a caregiving energy, right? So one of the things that I want everyone to know, and this is the greatest secret of the universe right now, the mother energy is the feminine maternal energy is the most powerful energy, the most powerful force that exists in the field. Okay, that's the most powerful energy that exists in the field. And I want you to look at the energy in a magnet, the energy in actual physical plug in a toaster energy, and the masculine and the feminine. Okay. The other, and I'll tell you why, and this is a good example, is most of my clients who coach with me, most of you who have gone to therapy, it all started with mom, right? Not all of you. Some of you have definitely had some powerful energies around Papa Bear, right? Definitely, whether he was there or he wasn't there, he was forceful, he wasn't supportive, and it might have been a need of yours as well. So it was something that you required. But most of the therapists, psychologists will tell you, life coaches, etc., will tell you that mom energy always comes up. Now let's respect this energy, because this is around Capricorn. That the Capricorn and the Capricorn sun is opposing the sun in Cancer. So the moon in Cancer. Capricorn sun is opposing, Holly, get it together, the moon in Cancer. And the moon in Cancer is the strongest, most feminine energy, ruled by the moon. And also the Capricorn energy, which is what the sun is in right now, is the father energy. It's the masculine energy. It's the authoritative energy, right? So it's the one that takes control. It's the one that micromanages. So we're looking at anything in our lives right now that is taking control and overpowering our needs. And we're not allowing our needs to be met, or we may not be advocating for our needs. This is strong. So with the moon, the full moon, you want to let that go. You want to let that shit go. You want to just burn it, douse it, drown it, bathe it, shower it. This is ways of letting it go. That energy. I'm really excited because I got my new deck of tarot. It's not really tarot, which is what I like. It's more affirmational, more words of wisdom. So I'm going to ditch my normal cards that I do, and just for today, and we're going to use these ones, star seeds. And the reason I like this is because every single one of you is a star seed, right? What I've been told by Greg Braden personally, yeah, he was at my house. No, Greg Braden, he's an archaeologist and a geologist, that they have found the original Bible. And the original Bible does not say from dust to dust. It says from stardust to stardust. And we are made of stardust. We are made of the same chemical component as stars are. Look it up. It's physics. It's not woo-woo. So every single one of you are little star seedlings. Okay? You're all star seedlings, all of you. So we're going to look at that as well. So if you want a card, just say, Holly, I want a card, and I will pull that up for you. So we got high fresh breath, and if Instagrammers, I don't know why sometimes I can wave and sometimes I can't. Oh, you know why? Because I have to wait till one wave is gone, maybe. Anyways, I'm new. So what I want you to do is put down your birth date, your birth time, your birth year. I'm not new to this astrology thing. No, I'm way, way, way old. Other lifetimes, been doing this forever. Just new to using this triple platform experience here. So we're going to look at Princess Jasmine. I think that's the one Disney series that I didn't see, which was the one with Jasmine in it. So Jasmine is a Cancer. Her sign is in Cancer. So this full moon is going to do a number on you, possibly in a positive way. So we're going to take a look at, wait a minute, Jasmine, you said July 3rd, 2019. Who am I doing a reading for? Because that person is not even 2 years old yet. 3 years old yet. So let me find out who I'm doing that reading for, this little brand new soul. I just want to make sure that I got it right before we, and if there's a brand new one, then you probably have the birth time. So that would be quite advantageous to me if I could have that as well. Okay. So with that being said, I want to do a reading also for somebody who emailed me, holly@askhollyhall.com. I do these every Tuesday at 5 o'clock, and also randomly, like I'm doing today. So I do want to address, where did she go? Ruhi, who applied for a coaching job where she was trained. And she lives in India, and she was denied. So this was something that was upsetting to her. And her birthday is in September 21st, which means she's on the cusp as well. And they had asked her to continue with her training. And she was wonderful opportunity that she has actually her birth time. Most people in India have their birth time because they all get their birth charts done when they're born. Vedic, very different than what I do. And even the approach is extremely different than what I do. Sometimes they're actually scared because they were tainted their whole life by this horrible doom and gloom astrology chart that was done for them the day they were born. Okay. So for Ruhi, reapply after March, and look for applications in other areas as well. There are online coaching platforms that are looking specifically. 7 Cups, the number 7, and Cups is one of them, and you'll get a job. Okay, that just wasn't your time, nor the experience that you should be having. I just got to plug in my light Aru here. I'll be right back. Just talk amongst yourselves. Just gonna give me a heart. There we go. Okay, so now my phone is showing there. Okay. So hi, Deanne. Give me your birth date and time. Jasmine, can you tell me what the 2019 is all about? Okay. And now I'm going to actually read again for you from someone else who was also asking. And she's got a daughter who is experiencing some difficulties in university, and she's challenged with that because she seems to be, as it was explained, she's not focused. I'm going to be she's not focused. She's not she's just sort of spaced out about what she wants, and she's apparently acting like a kid and not really paying attention to what's important. Now, when I looked at her chart, and we're going to answer this now, what's happening is that there's Neptune. Neptune is going over her moon. And so first of all, she's having a lot of issues around the home environment and the home situation. And she's not comfortable with the changes that is happening around the home situation. Uranus is in there too. So I'm suspecting that this person has, this person doesn't live at home anymore in order to go to school. And she's finding that quite difficult too. She's confused also about the education, the results of her education. So she's not sure what she wants to do. So she's sort of meandering around, taking this and taking that, and not really quite focused on what she wants. But what's really neat about Neptune is it's asking you to make sure that you realize some dreams. Make sure that you're able to realize some dreams. And when you're able to realize those dreams, then you're able to make them happen. But this really practical, logical side to her is saying, well, I got to do the right thing. Apparently I'm supposed to do, what's expected of me. I've got to be the good girl. And I'm going to say, don't let her, as a mother, let her sort of have her head in the clouds, be in the fog, try to figure out what she wants. She's going to make some drastic mistakes if you force her to make concrete decisions, because she can't do it. She is confused. Her head is in the air. She's starting to figure out who she is and what she wants. And even though originally she's texting me now and she's saying, well, she knew what she wanted when she was 17. She did, but this cycle started when she was 18. And now she doesn't know what she wants. So things have changed drastically. So give it a year. It's going to be over in December. Let her have this year of finalizing and figuring out what she wants. And then that'll all work out. Okay, so Karen, we're going to look at you. Would love a reading. You read me for soulmate last time, but the time was wrong. I was born in late morning, not sure of time, in Hamilton. Okay. So I read for you about a soulmate. That would be really unusual for me because I have a lot of issues around what people would consider a traditional soulmate. I don't believe in soulmates and happily ever afters, but there are the odd time. There is the odd time that I see it, right? It's not that I don't believe in happily ever afters. It's just I believe that we create and we co-create our soulmates, and that takes work. Okay, and each package of lifetimes that we may have a new soulmate that follows us in lifetime after lifetime. That's a whole nother ball game, right? That's a whole nother story. But let's see. And you said late morning. Late morning. Let me just double check. Late morning. So late morning is like 10 o'clock, right? But if you're not sure, I'll be like reading for a completely different person. Right? If I'm going to include the moon. If the moon is, this is a time that you were born, then you do have issues with men, going after men that have commitment issues, and they're not able to psychologically, physically, emotionally, or intellectually, specifically intellectually and physically, are unavailable. And this is an experience that you had with both your parents when you were younger. And if you have a brother, it stemmed from an experience around the brother too. That's not to blame. I forgot that I was going to tell you guys a secret. Very, very deep secret. This reading here is helping me bring that up. And that is that we make a soul contract with our mothers. Each and every one of us makes a soul contract with our mothers. And in that soul contract, we learn the lessons that we need to learn. So that may be a karmic soul contract, and therefore you need to come back over and over and over again with this particular soul, because both of you are have some misplacement and some karma to deal with, or it's a beautiful, brilliant, loving, amazing, gorgeous connection. However, in this lifetime, they're going to teach you something that's very difficult. And so almost all mothers are sacrificing. If you're born to be a mother, you've made a sacrifice, knowing that the lesson that you are helping this other little soul with could cause you grief and pain. And so the secret that I would like to, the way that you can try to dissolve some of this is, no matter what kind of relationship you have with your mother, to accept. Just to accept who she is. She could be the most selfish, horrific, abusive, horrible, distant, alienated, abandoned mother energy. But it's accepting with unconditional love, because if that's the type of relationship you have, your lesson that you've asked to spearhead you into evolution was unconditional love. Not easy when somebody has hurt you. Okay. So these are very sacrificial relationships. Now, soulmate can happen in April and May. However, you are in the midst of, no, a little bit later, sorry, Venus. And this one's going to be, this one you got to be very careful with. May and June. That's when I see the soulmate. But right at the same time, you're learning what unconditional love is. You're learning what unromantic love is. You're learning what love is on a non-honeymoon stage. This is a relationship that you may have to sacrifice that honeymoon, happily ever after fairy tale. This is more of an intellectual companionship in which you feel connected to, because you have you're both grounded and you both have the same common ground. And this is a relationship where you're nurtured and the person is nurturing you back as well. But you have commitment issues because of that childhood, and you've naturally subconsciously attracted men, partners that, I don't want to just assume men, partners that didn't want to commit. So you may have thought it was you. I'm not lovable. I'm not worthy, but it was partner. And they showed you right at the beginning too. They showed you that, they told you that they're not ones that wants to settle down. Okay, so there's going to be double whammy. There's going to be a beautiful, wonderful, amazing relationship where you both serve each other. And then there's going to be a big, giant lesson at the same time around your commitment, right? So you're going to find yourself with this really strong, stable, solid relationship, but you're bored out of your brains. And you're trying to figure out, should I stay or should I go? Wow, I'm starting to realize what I am like in a stable, happy, loving relationship. I get antsy. I get edgy. I want to get out of Dodge. I might get argumentative, right? Especially now, because traveling is, I don't know if you're able to travel, but traveling is really important to you. Oh, good for you. She's a believer of reincarnation and Edgar Cayce, so she gets it. Magic, the slow path. Glad to see you here with my YouTube family. Yes, thank you. Thank you. She loves my subjects. Okay, so I'm still waiting to hear about Jasmine. And we're going to go to Deanne. And I'm wanting her question. Okay, so 10:15. So I'm just going to get your question. AskHollyHall.com. I've got a code right now because my website's under construction and I don't have my pop-up to save 20% when you sign my newsletter. Sign for my newsletter. So Live 20 will save you 20% off. So Deanne, We have got December. She's just a young pupperoo. 1975. Ten in the morning. Bear with me. I'm using my entire screen to do everything here. Multitasking. And yeah, I like what you have to say there. Yeah, I'm a big Edgar Cayce fan too. And do you want? Let's just segue here to break for a little story here. Edgar Cayce. If anybody has read or learned or known anything about his book in reincarnation, The Sleeping Prophet, as well, where he would sleep for most of the time to be able to prophesize. His wife sacrificed tremendously to be able to manage the crowds and crowds of people that would come to him and basically tend to his every needs, because he basically laid in bed a lot and rested a lot and had a lot of his premonitions and healing and helping people in this sort of trance state. And they were poor. People that came to him were poor, and he didn't want money from them. He was exhausted and tired and poor. I don't think he ever wrote a book. All the books were written about him. People that wrote books about him made money, but he died a poor man. So, and sacrificing and giving so much of himself. And so when clients of mine say, how come I want to be wealthy, I want to be rich, I want to be famous in the self-help industry, healing people and helping people, that's all I want to do. Then I say, if that's all you want to do, then do it. Because all the people in history, Mother Teresa, Jesus, all these people, they didn't make a lot of money and they weren't rich and famous, and they didn't write books that fell off, that disappeared from the shelves millions of dollars later. Healers make those sacrifices, right? My book, 101 Answers from the Universe, is my book at Amazon.com. And could you share, Karen, the documentary? I might have seen the documentary because I've seen a few, but I would like to, if you could share that documentary, that would be great. Looking at what progresses I'm going to make this year in health. And I hope, Raven, just reach out anytime. I'll talk to you anytime. Love to. Raven's done some amazing work, sacrificial work as well in her, in so many areas, really, in so many nonprofit areas, in health, happiness, relationships, adults, kids, paths. Okay, so it was a very difficult year last year. Actually, 2020 was more so. 2019 and 2020, very difficult time. You've gotten past that tremendously, and now, actually, including the past year, is an important time for you to make some dreams come true. In your relationship, there's a couple of times for relationships for you, and one of them is just coming up. Very passionate, somebody who's got a deep psychological look at life, just like you do. And this is on a few dates, so I want you to take note of this. Mid-April till the third week of May. And I'll pull a card for you. Mid-August until the third week of September. And in 2023, this is a lot, okay? And I'm going to tell you what all this means in a second. Mid-February 2023 until mid-March 2023, and then ends with a kabang mid-November until the end of 2023. So all of these dates are optimum times for you to discover and to find love. One of the things with love is you have to respect the partner. You may fall in love too deeply, too fast, because there's a title around them, which may give a false sense of respect. You respect the accomplishments and the goals that they've acquired. So be very leery and very careful about that. However, this is finally also somebody that you can be vulnerable with, which is something that has not been easy for you at all. Vulnerability due to some very, I can't go into detail here, but I think you're going to know what I'm talking about. Some very serious lies, deceptions, and even a type of abuse as a child. And because of that, it's been very difficult for you to settle and trust, right? This is on a deep soul level. Now, this person you can trust that you meet during this time. Venus is in your 9th house, and this is where it's happening for you. And therefore, you may meet them. Either they come from another country or a distance away at the beginning, or you meet them while in the midst of traveling or while you're re-educating yourself, which is something else that you're going to, and this is abandonment. This is a real abandonment as a child too. And, but now you're going to re-educate yourself, or you're going to be re-educated, training, and or possibly training others. And this is how you meet. This is how you connect. Okay. 9th house has to do with the internet too. So don't be shy to utilize some of the modern technology of dating. However, make sure that you use a reputable ones, the ones that you pay for, not the ones that you swipe plenty of fish and all that garbage where everybody's on there looking for a good time. Okay. That's awesome. Okay, so I want to know about a job. Magic. We like magic. Magic and I have known each other. And I'd like feedback. That's all I ask for, really, is feedback. Magic, how long? 15 years? Maybe 20? Not sure. Okay, all I want is feedback, and I'm going to read that feedback later. And hi, Salted Ketchup. I know who you are. And I know that you've just moved, and I predicted your move in the Miami, Florida area. So I would love to know how that's going for you. You made a really difficult change around your career. It was breaking her down physically. And but I know I saw where she was supposed to go and what she was supposed to do and what her soul was here to do. And we adore you. Thank you, sweetie. As a couple, in the educational field, there are ambassadors of change in this crumbling educational system that is disappointing everyone, teachers, mothers, parents, students, kids. Huge disappointment. If you've got kids right now and they're fighting with you about the online learning and I don't want to learn this and I don't like my teacher, you let them have their stand. Let them have their voice, because they are not a part of this current, old, outdated, disruptive educational system. They are a part of the new earth. They are a part of the new educational system that's going to be coming for the whole part of 2025 and 2030, right? 2025 and 2030. So let's look at July 2nd. July 2nd. And I think I got the right year. I'm going to assume that's 5:20 a.m. I know you're focusing on that. And she wants to know about a job. She wants to know about a new job. And okay, this new job is going to require you to have some very strong leadership skills. And you're not happy about it. In fact, what's happening is you're not happy about the leadership skills that are taking place right now. How the people that are in charge, what they're doing, they're not good leaders. When it comes, they're not motivating, they're not collaborative, they're flighty. A lot of stuff is just all over the place. It's just everything's all over the place. It's a mess. But it's advantageous for you to let them know that you do have a fear of authority, and you'd rather avoid conflict, but you do say things off the cuff where people know you're not a happy camper. Okay, so you might want to follow up rather than just saying things abruptly, or being argumentative, or challenging them, is to ask if you can lead a portion of the department that you're in. You're very good at teaching and you're very good at sales. So I would also use this opportunity to invite them. When I talk slow like this, it's because I'm getting messages from Source. Invite them to see your skill set and that you are able to train. I know you haven't been there long, but you've done this before. You've been around the block before. So you are able to. You just don't have that confidence because they don't have the experience. They don't recognize your experience. Let's put it that way. Okay. This frustration around that will be over in now as we speak. So hopefully you've approached them. If you haven't, you still have the opportunity to do so. Okay. Just seeing if Instagrammers have any questions for me, and they don't. I'm going to take it popped up on my feed years ago, now thinking it may be on YouTube. Okay, I'll take a look at it. And there's Janet Holly, not sure. Did you continue to read me for this soulmate thing after discussing Casey? I need some good news for this upcoming year or two. Thanks for the reading. We'll go back and listen to this again. And I definitely said that there was a new soulmate type of love coming for you. And I mentioned a bunch of dates. So go back and listen to this again, because I don't have your chart up in front of me right now. Let me know how any of this resonates with everybody. December 4th, 87, 6 a.m. I will pull a card for you around the soulmate, though. Okay? I'm going to pull a card. Now, there is a book that comes with it. I'm not going to read the details of the book, but we're going to say, like, what good news can you give her for 2002? The Edgar Casey girl that has asked. So I'm going to pull two for you. So one is is surrender, holding the opposite extremes of life, falling into my arms. So you do have one where you have to surrender and understand your issues around attachment and commitment issues. Okay, so surrendering to that and understanding where that came from. But you've also at the same time in tandem have a love coming in your life. And my will to thy will, micromanaging the universe. The one thing with the soulmate energy that's coming your way is that you can manifest it as long as you're aware of your commitment issues. Okay, your fear of not having freedom. All right. So surrender to that, understand that, embrace that. And then those dates that I gave you is a manifesting of that soulmate that is predictable, practical, rational, down to earth, solid, boring, I know, but a good guy, a good partner, or girl, a good partner. Okay, so there's these two things that you're going to be working in tandem and they oppose each other. So it's asking, and that's exactly what it said in the one card. Surrender, hold the opposites, extremes of life. Understand both so you don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And as for, so this cycle is just over for that job as well. And that was July 2nd, 75, December 4th, 87. AskHollyHall.com. You can use the code LIVE 20, and that's how you can save 20% off in the middle of redoing my website. So December 4th, 87. Great. And we'll see what we have to say about this one. Girl, you have been going through some frustrations with superiors, specifically with bosses and arguments, and it's been affecting a relationship. If you're in a relationship, if it's a business partnership, it's affecting that. You want your freedom from there. They're not managing the situation very well, and you've got to get out of that situation in order for you to be more autonomous and have your freedom at the same time. And you've got quite the struggle here, because there's a big giant part of you that needs freedom, and a part of you that's very responsible, reliable, and dedicated, and doesn't make a lot of changes because of fear of not being responsible enough. But this situation, it's got to go, and it's actually going to bust the gasket. You're going to be speaking your truth, which is what you're here to learn in this lifetime. And you're wise, you're smart. They're just not listening in this situation. And that's going to be in February till mid-March. So whatever that situation is that I'm talking about, if it is in work situation, specifically around the money that you earn, that will be over. It's your self-worth too, that'll be done mid-March. You're out of there, and you got to make some, and then there will be something that'll be over. That cycle will be over, and there'll be an advantage for you coming up when we've got Jupiter in Aries, and that will be in the middle of May. So if this is a partnership, then there's a new partnership or revitalization of a partnership. Then if it's an intimate or business, either way, mid-May. Best thing you ever did. Mid-May, you'll be like, thank goodness. Okay, so let's see what everybody has to say. Wow, I haven't. I will do. Not sure what that means. Boy, there's a lot of spam from YouTube. And hi, Anna. Yeah, Jana said I just described her life. How soon will heal from stomach issues? Hi, Carrie. How soon? How soon? Okay, so let me do a body scan around that. The stomach issue seems to be here, seems to be at the top of the stomach is where I'm getting the energy. I'm trusting that you're dairy free. I'm going to use my astrology cards on this one because I want to see if this has to do with dairy and gluten. And that means I'm going to, and you, if it is dairy, you're going to have some really big troubles with it with this full moon. And that's how you'll know. Okay, so there's Virgo. So Virgo is the planet, the sign of health. And this is meaning diet, nutrition. It's not about diet or going on a diet. It's about nutrition. Okay, and this is about routine in your nutrition. Good, you're not using any dairy. That's a good start. So then we got gluten and gluten, sugar, dairy, red meat. Those are all the things that are difficult to digest. And what this is saying is it's your digestive system, not your actual stomach. It's your small intestines. And this is where the bloating is coming from. And that's why I was getting the top part here. Okay. So this sounds really crazy, but I want you, Anna, I am using very little green, but it's in my esophagus. Okay. So double check with your doctor. I'm not a medical professional. Apple cider vinegar. Start off with a tablespoon in water, in a whole glass of water. It tastes like crap. Okay. 3 times a day before each meal. And if you've got a hiatal hernia, you're getting a lot of indigestion, the esophagus is damaged. This is going to sound like, why would I want to put such acidy food in there? But that's what's going to make a difference. If you're not, that's what it is. It's the acidity part. That's why when I was getting, this is telling me that it's your intestines as well. All right. So something's coming up and up in here. Right, so our stomach is over here. Our esophagus is in this area here. There's a sphincter here and a sphincter down here. And that's where, if there's a hiatal hernia, that can happen. Okay. Now, the apple cider vinegar has to be 3 times a day, not once a day. It's not a quick fix. It takes a while. Around that. Okay, so you'd have to try that for 21 days. Now, I want to be sure that you said you don't do dairy. Dairy is hidden in everything. So no salt and vinegar chips, no granola bars, no chocolate bars. A lot of cereals will have dairy. Dairy is a high allergen, so you will see it at the bottom of the ingredients stating that it contains dairy. Whey powder is dairy. I'm assuming that you're very well versed in where dairy products are hidden, but that's what I'm seeing. Okay, and there is it's like the flap isn't staying open, and or it's opening and closing. That's what I'm getting for that. And another one, I'm going to pull a card here for you. The stomach is also the mother injury. Okay, the mother injury. So looking on a psychological level around the mother and the nurturing. So in that 3 weeks that you're doing the apple cider vinegar, you've got to get brags. So not just apple cider vinegar that you use for cooking. Okay, it's got to be brags. It's got to be live. It's got to have the mother at the bottom. So the mother at the bottom looks kind of murky and mucky at the bottom. And that's the live bacteria at the bottom. So not just apple cider vinegar that you get off the shelf for cooking. Okay. And 3 times a week, 3 times a day. All right. Anna, you haven't given me your birth date, so I don't know. I'd have to look at your birth date to figure that one out. Yeah, that's acid reflux doing that to your throat. I need your birth date and your birth year and your birth time and your birthplace. So I would need the year as well. Okay, so we're going to sign off now. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And we will take a look at diving into the full moon. Right now, we're going to do a silent meditation. And yeah, so, okay, May 31st, 59. We'll just do one last one. I don't think I'm going to see anything different than what I've already said, though. With my body scans are pretty accurate. After this, I want you to 100% confirm that you have 100% dairy out of your life. Yeah, you got 2 planets in Cancer, so dairy's got to be 100% gone for 3 weeks solid. And then actually for the rest of your life, but 3 weeks solid. It's hidden in everything. And I mean everything. It's hidden. So I suspect that you're not 100% clean, dairy free. And sugars also with Aries. And yep, and that apple cider vinegar 3 times a day for 3 weeks. And you give that a go and just eat clean and whole, clean and whole and things that digest quickly type of thing. Trust me, I've got a hiatal hernia. I've had problems. Apple cider vinegar is the only thing that has worked for me. I've tried everything. And I tried apple cider vinegar before too, but I didn't do the 3 times a day thing. But that made a huge, huge difference. Okay, so we're going to do a silent meditation. I'm going to open up my book and I'm going to read. I'm going to read this. And this is for our full moon, okay? Soul Seeders. Lifting the veil. Questioning everything. Anything unaligned must go. This is perfect for the full moon. There aren't always. Everything isn't as it seems. This era is one of uncovering mistruths, so we can remember ancient truths. Everything is in a state of recall and alignment. Anything that isn't in harmony with the planet will not survive. You're being called to trust yourself, to notice what's out of alignment, and then take the baby steps required to bring it back into harmony. This is not easy feat, but it's so worthwhile, both individual and for yourself. Okay? Namaste. AskHollyHall.com. Every Tuesday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time.